the 911 changes, and we had to finish up to put it in place for that. And the state required that we compile the county's revenue of information on the financial sheets and compiled all the vendors that have been submitting their funds to 911 over the last year. And Tracy and I have done that for us. And the last thing was to create a certification on your county letterhead stating the amounts submitted are true and accurate, and have your commissioner and yourself sign it. And I thought Scott should be included in the amount that we were going to be asking for from now on. So I gave you copies of the letter and have the original to submit to the state for.
And this is because of the new state law that 911 is going to be controlled by state instead of individual counties. And all cell calls and landline calls will be 90 cents each.
Any device that can access 911, whether it's voice over IP, landline, wireless, TDD devices, it's 90 cents. So.
Do you know, is that going to help us, hurt us? Have you really?
The only thing they're saying is that they'll guarantee at least what we are getting at this time, plus an increase on cost of living, but what's the increase annually, depending on a formula they'll be using.
Okay.
I think the idea is to go by population, but if that doesn't work out, then it'll at least be guaranteed what we're getting at this time.
Good.
So.
These fees will go down to the state. You will send that amount, or Jen will from her office, or how are these?
They'll be contacting every one of the vendors, and it'll be sent directly to them. We won't be handling it anymore.
How will we, what cross-reference will we have to know what was sent in and what we get back? That's my problem. It seems like we're just putting in a third level. Now, is the state going to have to hire people to do this, and if so, are we going to receive back less? You see what I'm talking?
Oh, I totally agree. We're
Every
all
time you
trying
add a labor level to anything, you have to pay the people.
well,
I don't think our 911 system is broken now, and that's why I hesitate.
Sure. They're dissolving the wireless board and creating a 911, Indiana 911 board. They will be adding on additional, but it's not a whole lot. I don't think
Okay.
there's,
Well, you're the man. If you're happy with it, I guess sure.
I don't know that I'm happy with it. I don't know that I have a choice.
Yeah. We didn't have any figures on this at all. What, before we sign this, it says, we have information. I didn't. Mr. Chairman, do you have any?
I didn't attach anything.
Pardon?
I didn't attach anything because we probably weren't done with it then.
If this is good, what you sent me, I've
It
got
is.
copies. I don't think you'll want the vendor. They had to
No.
make a complete list of all the vendors that.
So in 9, we took in about $219,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's 11, I guess. 9 was 370, 237 to 218.
And that was because of the landlines, is that?
There's quite a bit, and then a part of that I think is a little misleading because part of that, the wireless was in there from what we figured because we didn't separate the accounts out until later in that year. So, but the landlines have gone down quite a bit. We're looking
Oh, yeah.
at from, when I was looking at 2002, I think we had 20-some thousand landline, we're down to about 12, so not quite half as many, but quite a bit.
Yeah, your revenues dropped by $162,000.
Quite a bit.
And we have always used this. Scott has been very generous of equipment that he has needed to have to replace. We've always been relied upon this account. And I hope that the state doesn't see those, oh my goodness, this is terrible, you know, so they cut it to third or something. It gets to Indianapolis, you never know what happens. You know that as well as I do, right?
That's sure.
Okay.
One question I've got, Scott, is
Mhm.
the funding that we have available right now, or that you have for 911, is the state going to want to take that back?
No, that's not part of it. It was part of an introduced bill, but that didn't pass. So what we have is still ours. Which is good, because we got a new 911 system coming.
Yeah,
So.
we actually, in the auditor's office, will have the existing 252 account, which is wireless, the landline. 282 is the wireless account, and then we'll have the new fund that we'll start getting money in for come July 1st. So actually, for a while, we'll carry 3 accounts. The 2 first accounts will not have any more funds coming into them. We can just spend money out of them on the same IC codes.
The way I understood it, that has to be transferred over to a complete 911. The funds have to be.
Not yet.
Yeah, July 1st is what I understood. Okay.
That's not what we were told, so we'll check on that. That they all go into one fund is what you thought?
Yes. Let's do it one fund.
Yeah.
That's
We're-
not how I understood it either.
Yeah.
That you have them separate because there's different.
Expenses can be different expenses out of.
Right.
Right,
Until
to
you
carry
use-
on until the line items or anything like maintenance agreements, that kind of stuff can be finished out of those, and you've got till 2016, I think it is, to
Right, so
finish
we're gonna
those
have them
up.
for
So
3 more, at least 3 more budget years.
Any incoming though will go into the new.
Correct.
Right.
So this should be in, according to their statement, no later than April 13th, 2012, as far as this letter. So
Right.
based upon that, and the information we've discussed today, Mr. Chairman, I would start out by making a motion that we go ahead and send in our 911 report.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the state 911 report, and I'll second. Discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Approved.
I need your signature on this, whether it's going.
We need to sign this one.
I just want one for us and one for the state.
Scott, while we're signing these, I know you've been busy working with all the other 911 area directors. Could you, in a couple minutes, give us, public and the media, a little brief capsule of what you people are doing?
May of last year, several Northeast Indiana 911 directors
Should be.
met because we were looking at having to replace old equipment. Our equipment's 8 years old. It's equipment from the 1960s still being used. However, everything now is all gone to an IP-based or a computer-based system. And NENA, National Emergency Number Association, sets out standards for the way 911 equipment's supposed to be, the procedures, the policies, that kind of stuff. And nobody in our group is even close to what the standards are, being because they pretty much just finished their standards. They've been working on them for years because as they're working on it, technology was just rolling faster and they could set the standards. They just recently come out with that. And due to the cost of the equipment, I was looking at for our county $250,000 to $300,000 to replace our 911 system. And again, through discussion with other 911 directors, we got looking at combining for buying power, for interoperability. If our equipment goes down, we can get up, go over to Allen County. They can transfer with the new technology all our calls to their center. We could answer them there if that were to happen. Some, big disaster would happen. And likewise, any of the group. And the other big part of the cost, besides equipment, is the network. That's from usually the local exchange carrier. Problem with that is they were the only ones that could supply you, so they set their price. By getting outside of the local LEC, we're looking at a whole nother company to set up a network. And this network looks to be quite a bit less, at a much better bandwidth and their maintenance, that kind of stuff. They're already, this company we're looking at, and they're not the only, but the one company we're looking at already does the statewide wireless calls. So that would just feed all together instead of multiple pieces. It'd all be one piece. So as a group, we're trying to get this whole thing pulled together. One big buying power. I looked at saving possibly $100,000 just for us, for our county. So
That's great.
there's between 12 and 13 counties. We've got a few of them that still haven't made a decision, but we're getting a lot closer.
Okay.
With
That
that,
savings will pay half his salary for next year.
with half of that, with that comes the problem with our existing equipment and maintenance. And I thought I might bring this up. Our maintenance contract with CenturyLink is no longer in effect, being that they want a minimum of 2-year maintenance agreement. We're looking to replace this, and I'm hoping in the next 6-9 months it'll be replaced, and at $18,000 a year. That's a lot to throw out there for a few months' use. I contacted D&M Communications out of Fort Wayne. They do Allen County's equipment, same equipment we have, and they're willing to come up with a contract that allows us to do it month by month. So if we went in August, I could say, we're done at the end, and they're good with that.
Even if it's a little bit more.
Yeah, per month, right. But they do have equipment. They are certified with our equipment. They do have standby equipment because they have a lot of it for Allen County. It's theirs, but they have it put in place if Allen County, their equipment goes down. So I think that when I get it, I'll come to you with it, but just so you're aware.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you,
Thank you
Scott.
for your work.
Thanks, Scott.